absolute bollocks. And you're just a stupid fucking bunch of knobs. The globe is absolute bollocks. And you're just a stupid fucking bunch of knobs. The globe is absolute bollocks. And you're just a stupid fucking bunch of knobs. The globe is absolute bollocks. And you're just a stupid fucking bunch of knobs. Hey, the ocean. Say, the ocean. Say, the ocean. Say, the ocean. The globe is absolute bollocks. And you're just a stupid fucking bunch of knobs. The globe is absolute bollocks. And you're just a stupid fucking bunch of knobs. The globe is absolute bollocks. And you're just a stupid fucking bunch of knobs. The globe is absolute bollocks. And you're just a stupid fucking bunch of knobs. The ocean, say, the ocean, say, the ocean, say, the ocean, say.
Keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther.
What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? Tonight we have another Flurf fight. So we do have the Discount Gnome right here. I hope everybody say hi to the Discount Gnome. He's out in Texas right now, so he's not really going to be able. You're not going to be able to hear him because he's in Texas and he's now actually on the call. But Kyle, our thoughts and prayers are with you, obviously. So now tonight we have Fight the Flat Earth versus HipHopHippie. And sorry. So Fight the Flat Earth, you want to reintroduce yourself to everybody that already knows you, and then we'll get HipHopHippie to introduce himself.
Yeah, sure. Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for having me back on again. Just before we get started with the debates, I did have a little announcement that I wanted to do. David, would you mind just playing that video for me?
Now, it's been a few weeks now since this video's been and gone. But in the back and forth, Craig said that he was going to interview George Musa because the whole of the scientific community disagrees with me. And I challenged him to do exactly that. I don't think he can or will.
Back and forth, as I'm sure most of you are aware, with Sleeping Warrior, one of the specifics he's been talking about is an article written by the gentleman that I am speaking with today, Mr. George Musa, who is a contributing editor for Scientific America. George, would you just like to take a few minutes to introduce yourself?
So as you say, I'm a contributing editor for Scientific American magazine. I was a senior editor there for a number of years, actually for almost 15 years, on the topics of fundamental physics and space science. My background's actually in planetary science, although I really can't claim to be a planetary scientist anymore because of deep in my history, but my thesis work was on the planet Venus.
So yes, I have had the interview with the person that Sleeping Warrior and a whole bunch of other flat earthers have been using as a citation for gravity not being what we say it is. And yeah, let's just say that the consensus is kind of with me. So Sleeping Warrior Week will start on May the 20th with that interview. There'll be a whole week of Sleeping Warrior fun, finishing with a scientific experiment to measure the circumference of the planet involving currently 363 people.
Awesome. It sounds, I can't wait for that week. I mean, I'm going to be glued to your channel. HipHopHippie, you want to introduce yourself to everybody here?
Yo, what's up? It's HipHopHippie. Yeah, that's right. Getting ready to ride this troop train. And just first and foremost, I wanted to say I'm sorry to hear about your mom. Fight the flat Earth. My mom's
She's
sick
doing
too,
better, thank
so-
you.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, let's dedicate the show to our moms. Just want to
Yeah,
say hi
man.
to my sexy fucking girlfriend in the chat. I love her a lot. It's my woman. She's awesome. And want to say hi to my family and friends that could be watching. And let's do this. Oh, and I just want to say I'm not in this for fame or money. I only have 38 subscribers, so can't really hold that on me that I want to do anything with the flat Earth truth. So I'm ready to
Okay,
go.
awesome. Well, tonight, we have a sort of moderated discussion like we tried to have earlier. This time, I feel like it's going to go in a lot more productive direction. So now, I don't know who wants to start out first, but y'all just sort of talk, and I'll step in if there's any overstep, like interrupting or anything like that. Otherwise, I'm just here listening to you guys have a discussion.
Cool. Well, HipHopHippie, last time we chat, the main focus was that I wanted you to give me evidence, and you said that next time we talk, you would present me evidence of the flat Earth. So far, this is my 20th appearance on NonSec now. So far, no one has actually ever presented evidence for a flat Earth, so I'm quite interested to see what you've got.
Oh, okay. Oh man, it's the 33rd show. 33.
No, this is episode 33.
Are you guys gonna do some virtual Freemasonic dick sucking ritual on me?
Well, funnily enough, the other week I actually joined both the Freemasons and the Illuminati.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, just don't do any weird ritual on me, okay? That's all I'm asking.
Just go to their website. Seriously. Anyway, what you got?
And another thing I also wanted to bring up in our last debate, the producer put a dunce cap on me, and that was a pretty faggle move. So I just wanted to say that guy's a bitch.
I apologize for Pig. He can have his own views on things. I didn't actually know that was going on.
Okay. Well, right on. So yeah, the Earth is bumpy. I'm a bumpy earther. I mean, we have mountains, hills, canyons, stuff like that. But it is on a relatively flat plane, and you can tell this by the horizon. I brought this up in our last debate. The horizon is the key. You, because you're a globe believer, you think the horizon is 3 miles away for a person who's 6 feet tall. If that's the case, you think the sun is setting at 4 miles away. That's kind of strange, and we all know that that's not possible. So, I mean,
if I can correct your assumption there about what we believe, we don't actually believe the sun is setting behind the horizon, because that's not how the universe works. What is happening is the planet is turning away, and we're no longer looking at the sun. There is no physical horizon that you could go to and sink over. The sun isn't moving. The Earth is just turning. And what we see is exactly what you would see in the circumstances that we describe as our solar system in the universe. The reason we see a sunset is because the Earth is turning away from the sun.
Well, that's what you assume. I mean, you're assuming again, but the horizon is the curvature of the Earth in your guys' belief. You guys believe it's the curvature of the Earth. So when the sun is setting behind the curvature of the Earth, you think the sun is actually going down under your view. So it's just not possible. We all know that the sun doesn't set 3 miles away.
Well, no, you're right. The sun doesn't set 3 miles away. The sun does what I just described to you, which is actually stay exactly where it is whilst we orbit it and rotate on our own axis. At the moment it seems like you're trying to argue that this shouldn't be possible on your model. Well, what we see is exactly what we'd expect on our model. The geometry of it and the position of the sun, that's exactly what we would expect if we were on a globe that is rotating 25 degrees a minute.
So wait a second. You're agreeing that the horizon is the curvature, right? That's what you're saying, right? The horizon is the curvature of the Earth.
The horizon is as far as you can see, and is the point at which things will start to go behind the horizon, that drop away from you, because we're on a massive globe. So I can present you a whole bunch of evidences of the fact that we have curvature, and that there is curvature to be seen. In fact, one of my recent videos, there was like a whole 1 minute section whilst playing the can music, showing lots of pictures of curvature. So at this point, the most important thing to understand about this discussion is that I don't have the burden of proof. I have the scientific consensus, and the burden of proof is with the person going against the scientific consensus. I can present you evidence all day. Whether you would completely understand what I'm presenting you is irrelevant at this point. What I would like to see from you is some evidence of the flat Earth, and the horizon isn't evidence of the flat Earth. If anything, it's evidence of a globe, because there wouldn't really be a horizon, certainly not a defined horizon on a flat plane. The reason we see a defined horizon is because that is the point that you can no longer see. Well, because why?
How do you know you wouldn't?
Because parallel lines don't intersect by definition.
Well, yeah,
so
they don't intersect.
To say there's a horizon on flat Earth, you're saying that at some point those parallel lines are intersecting. No, that there literally wouldn't be the horizon that we see on a flat Earth with a defined 3 mile limit on an average 6 foot person. Those things would only happen on a globe. And
how do you know? How do you know if you've?
Because that's how geometry works.
Lived on a flat Earth, if you've never lived on a flat Earth, how do you know?
Because you can model out. Because you can model these things out. You can do the maths based on the universe and the physics that we understand, using things like the law of angular perspective, and you can model out what things should look like on a curve or on a flat plane. Walter Bislin has an advanced curve calculator that does exactly that, models it on both for you. And the funny thing is, whenever you model something onto that and you do it on the flat and the round, the only one that ever works out is the round. And that's not some trickery. That's just, well, this is what it would look like on here and on here. And that, the flat side, doesn't comport with reality. Just saying the horizon. Sorry, go on.
Do you agree that we see in perspective?
Well, what do you mean by perspective?
That's how we view the world. We view the world as in perspective, like a perspective drawing. It's linear perspective. We see in linear perspective.
So
right?
There's a mathematical formula to that, yeah?
Sure. I mean, I'm sure there's a mathematical formula for a lot of
things. There is.
But
it's alpha equals 2 times the arctan of 2 over the art, which is exactly what you can use to calculate how big things should be based on how far away they are. So yes, I do understand perspective, because there's actually a mathematical formula for perspective that I can use to check against reality. So
well, that's cool.
Just saying see in perspective isn't much when you don't then have some fundamentals to back that up. Just saying, well, it's perspective, without then giving me a quantitative ability to use your version of perspective. With my perspective, the perspective, you can actually calculate how big things should be based on how far away they are. Your perspective is just kind of like, well, that's perspective because that's how you see it. So rather than just talking about semantics and words, how about you present me some evidence of a flat Earth?
Yeah, we'll get to that. I'm just trying to come to agreement on like how we see the world. Like, because my question was, do we see the world in perspective, not if perspective has a mathematical formula?
Well,
do we see in perspective?
That depends on what you're using as perspective. We see the world based on the light that's hitting our eyes. That's how we see the world.
Yes, we view the world in perspective. I mean,
you're using perspective as kind of a catch-all phrase here. Like you're not really defining what you mean by perspective. I can give you an actual solid definition.
What I'm saying is if we actually see the world in perspective on a globe, it would be a curvilinear perspective. It wouldn't be a linear perspective. Linear perspectives actually use like a straight horizon. It's a flat horizon. Curvilinear because we live on a sphere, in your opinion, we should be seeing the world in curved linear perspective, but we don't. We see it in regular perspective.
Okay, I really don't want to use the words like opinion, because I don't have an opinion about the shape of the Earth. I follow data to arrive at conclusions, and there's no opinions involved in that. So I really don't like it when people use that "you think, you believe, you have an opinion," because that's really not how it works. And you just saying, well, we don't see in linear perspective or anything isn't really proof of anything, because we see based on the light that's hitting our eyes. And perspective is perspective. Alpha equals 2 times arc tan of G over 2r. That's perspective. You can use that to calculate what you should be able to see on everything. So
is the horizon the curvature of the Earth, or no?
The horizon is a point that you start to see the effects of curvature. So you will see things start to disappear as they go over the horizon. So you will see buildings that are half missing when they're behind the horizon. So
that's because
we all know what the horizon. No, that's not a thing. We all know what the horizon is. Just you talking about semantics is a conversation I'm sick and tired of having. So let's just get to the point where you present me with some evidence, okay?
Well, that's fine, but see, by definition, horizon means flat. Horizon, horizontal means flat.
Yes, okay, do you know? No, horizontal doesn't mean flat. The word horizontal actually comes from a Greek word meaning binding circle. And a circle is a 2D shape. And what else is a 2D shape is a cross section. What is a cross section? That is what we see as our horizon. So just saying horizon, horizontal, no, that's not right, because the word horizon actually has a basis that you can look into and find out, and it's not anything to do with the word horizontal, okay?
Horizontal, the actual definition of horizontal is a parallel to the plane of the horizon at right angles to the vertical. Parallel.
Okay, yeah, but the horizon is not horizontal. Okay,
synonyms. So, a horizon is horizontal. A horizon is a horizontal line. That is the definition.
HipHopHippie. Right, stop 1 sec. Right, let's just go with the accepted definitions of things that everybody knows. I really don't want to go down this road of trying to change the definition of things to something else. All right, we all know what a horizon is. We all know what shape the horizon should be. We all know at this point what perspective is. So let's just get to the point where you present me with some evidence, please, because I'm sick and tired of the semantic arguments. They're pointless.
Well, I'm sorry you're sick and tired, but I mean, we gotta clarify this, because the synonyms for
clarifications are.
Can you stop interrupting me, please? So, horizontal. The synonyms for horizontal is parallel, level, even, straight, plane, or flush. Plane? What does that fucking mean? I mean, it means a flat surface on which a straight line joining any 2 points on it would wholly lie. An imaginary flat surface through adjoining material objects, a flat or level surface of a material object, a flat surface producing lift by the action of air or water over and under it. So it means flat. The horizon means flat. So I don't understand where you guys think that we're crazy.
Right. Okay. Right. Let's clarify what the word horizon means, because the word actually has a proper meaning. Right. I will read to you the actual definition of the word horizon, and then we can move on from it. The word horizon derives from the Greek separating circle, where it's the verb to divide, which in turn derives from some other words for boundary and landmark. So that's what horizon means. It's nothing to do with the word horizontal. Okay. The horizon is the horizon. There is a formula to figure out how far away the horizon is, and that is based on the fact that it works on 360 degrees around you. Okay. Now the horizon, on a globe, the horizon is a cross section of that globe. A cross section is a 2D shape, which is flat. The horizon is always going to look flat because that's exactly what it is. Even though it's on a sphere, unless you get up really, 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 really high, the horizon is going to be flat because it is a cross section of the sphere that you are on. That is what the horizon is. Stop trying to change the meaning of words, because they actually have real meanings. Stop trying to just pick and choose bits that are suiting to what you want it to mean, because they actually have meanings. And when you actually go into the definition of horizon, they start to talk about curvature of horizon and vanishing points and things like that. and nothing to do with a flat plane. Everybody knows what a horizon is. Can we please move on to the point where you present me with some evidence?
Okay, I just want to, for the record, I agree with you that we do see it 360 degrees around us, and it is a circle, but you can have a flat circle. And I'm just going to say for the audience that, yes, he just admitted that we see flat. And we know.
Yes, because that's what I've always said.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's
one of my very
fine.
first videos that I did, one of the very first videos that I did on my channel was explaining why the horizon is flat. Because it's supposed to be flat. It's not supposed to be a massive curve in front of you because we don't live on a cylinder. Saying the horizon is flat is not proof of anything because the horizon is supposed to be flat on a sphere. Okay?
But that's
now,
that's what you assert, though.
Hold on, guys.
No,
we got to try not to talk over each other, okay?
Okay. I'm not making any assertions there, HipHopHippie. There is no assertions in that. That is just the fact of what the horizon is.
Yes, you are,
right?
because you're claiming. Can you hold up? You're claiming that we can see curvature in the Lake Pontchartrain, videos, and that would assert that it's actual like a cylinder because we can't see the curve from left to right. And honestly, if we lived on a ball, the ball is curving away from us from all directions. So yes, we would see the curve from left to right.
No, right. You'd said the opposite of what you would see. Like Lake Pontchartrain, it's going away from you, okay? And you can see the curve because of the fact that it is curving away from you in all directions. You would only see a left to right curve if you were on a cylinder, and a pretty small one at that, okay? What we see on the horizon, what we see on the horizon is what we expect to see on our Earth, on our sphere. That is what, there's no arguments about what we should think the horizon is, because we know what the horizon is. And yes, it does look flat because it's supposed to, because it's a 2D shape. It's a cross section of the sphere that you're on.
So you're saying the horizon is the curvature of the Earth?
No, I'm saying the horizon is the point you will start to see the effects of curvature of the Earth. I've gone over this. Please move on.
Okay. Well, I have a video from Phuket Word who did a demonstration showing that it's actually the angle of incidence which is causing the so-called curve at Lake Pontchartrain. And I would like for Dave to, it's the first video in the link that I sent you. But he's comparing the two. He's comparing a bridge.
Yeah, I know exactly what, I will let you talk about it, and then I will present one picture that will ruin that entire evidence.
Well, okay, I need to find this. I don't know what order this is.
It is the very first video in the list that I sent you from him. A flat Earth and perspective versus Pontchartrain curvature claims.
Okay, got it.
When he lifts the camera up, you can see it's
the
flat.
proof that we are living on a...
Wait, sorry. Let me mute the audio here, so you can narrate.
You can go ahead and play it. He's probably better at explaining it than I am.
Okay. Well.
Next to a dam in Phuket, and it is a road that's about 600 meters long, and the camera was on the ground. The road itself is most definitely flat and straight. It has to be because it's on top of a retaining wall of a dam in Phuket. And we see what we always see when we look across a flat surface, and that is the surface appearing to rise to the eye level of the observer, or the camera in this case, and anything above the surface appears to come down towards the surface and meet at what we would call the vanishing point, or vanishing line, or line of convergence, however you want to refer to it, but it is in the center of the field of view when the camera is placed horizontally with a line of sight that is parallel to the surface. And
okay, can I just respond to that?
First of all, I want to ask if is that enough of the video for me to play, because I can't really play the whole thing and still be fair use.
No, that's fine. Yeah, okay. I don't want to get you guys in trouble. But yeah, he does lift the camera, so you do see that it's flat, and as he lowers it, the bottom disappears. And there's even a shot where a guy's on a bike riding away, and he disappears bottom first. Like you can't even see his legs.
Brilliant. So yeah, could you just put up the picture that I sent you labeled debunk 1, please? So I've taken a still from that extremely funny video that Fuckwit were done, and I've done one very simple thing. I've put a straight line on both sides. What can you tell me about those straight lines?
What are you talking about? I don't know.
Right, so you look at the line that I've put on the railing on the left, how it follows the middle of the railing, nice and straight all the way down. Yet the line on the right, on the top of the Lake Pontchartrain transmission towers, quite clearly shows that there's a massive curve there. The thing is about that road that Phuket Word is showing you is that that's going to be really, really quite hot. And you know what happens when there's roads hot. You can see the distortion it causes in the air. So you can see the mirroring and everything that is being caused by the heat coming off of the road. But if you look at the Lake Pontchartrain video, where there is very minimal refraction, the point is that when you go up away from the refraction, which would be closer to the water, because there'd be a colder, denser layer there at the water, which is where the most refraction would be. When you move away from the refraction to the top, it shows that the transmission lines are clearly curving with the curvature of the Earth. And again, this has been modeled onto Autobizon's advanced curvature model, and it figured out exactly as it should. Next.
Well, there's going to be more humidity on the water as well. Plus there's a tower in the back on the Lake Pontchartrain image that's actually refracting upwards. It's a single tower, and
yeah, and
there's been people that demonstrated how it's not
actually.
Really it's just
I have something to say about that particular picture, because I'm quite familiar with Soundly's work. That tower is probably 300 feet taller than the other towers, or not 300, maybe 200 feet taller than the other towers. It's also on land. There's an island back there that it's on.
Yeah. No, it's not.
My point, HipHopHippie, my point here is that we can look at the points where there clearly isn't refraction, which is the points really high above the water, the top of the transmission lines. Those transmission towers are all the same height, yet we can quite clearly see it curving based on the fact that I've put a straight line there to demonstrate how much it is curving. So, yeah, that there's clearly curve there. No, there's no curve on the road.
Are you blind?
No.
Are you blind, dude?
Like,
yeah,
I put this.
Curve.
Wait. HipHopHippie, did you not see the straight line that I put along the railing? The railing is going to be level to the road, right? So you can clearly see that the road is flat. You can clearly see that the road is flat. Wait, now you're talking over me, right? And as I explained, comparing a hot road to water is not making any sense, because what you get above water is colder, denser layers of air. What you get above the road is really hot air. They're completely different effects that you really shouldn't be comparing. And as I demonstrated, the railing is completely level, meaning that the road also is. There's no curve there, yet there was curve in the Lake Pontchartrain, which I demonstrated by putting a reference point of the straight line.
You see the railings curve in the distance. It's the same effect. There's multiple effects.
No, wait. I put a straight line. I put a straight line along the railings, showing that there is no curve.
If you look on top of the line, you see the railing curve. I mean, it's not that hard to see, dude. Are you just denying reality? What's going on?
I'm sorry, but I literally put a straight line on it, showing that it is straight. That is the whole point of what I'm saying to you. Yeah, so it wasn't straight because there's a straight line on it.
Well, we can finish out playing out the video if you want to, because we can all see that it's curving away. I mean,
Okay,
it's right
well,
there.
I think I just demonstrated that it wasn't very much clearly with that. Dave, could you just put the picture back up one sec? Look at the line.
Yeah, you see.
Look how straight it is.
You see it curve away
right
in the distance.
No, you don't. You see it literally distorting to a mirror or something in the distance. When you follow the actual railings, you can see that the distance above and below the line that I've put on stays pretty much where it is until it gets to a point where there's enough distortion that there's an up and a down and a mirror that you can't really tell anything because it's on a hot road, which is completely different to on above some cold water. And again, you are missing the entire point of the fact that those transmission lines have no refraction at the top. It's clearly showing a curve with no refraction. Can we move on to your next evidence, please?
You see the wall of atmosphere where it starts to curve, though. I mean, it's this.
No, look at the top of the line. Goodness me!
I don't understand how you guys don't understand, dude. It just fucking trips me out, man. It's like
HipHopHippie. Are you trolling me here? Are you literally trolling me here? Look at the black.
No, I'm not fucking trolling you.
You have to be. I literally just demonstrated how what you're showing is not any kind of evidence, because it shows that you're trying to show me a hot road.
It curve.
And
it shows a curve.
compare.
That's what it shows. It shows a curve.
It doesn't show. Right now, answer me this one thing. Wait. Answer me this one thing. The straight line that I showed you, does that have curve on it?
No.
Well, how can the rest of it then? Because it stayed in relation to the rest of the thing until it got to the point where it not only kind of went down, but then it went up a bit and then back down. Because what you are seeing there is the distortion from the heat coming off of the road. Now, do you not understand that?
Yes, I understand that.
Now think about that. That's hot. That's heat. Now, when you're talking about atmospheric distortion on the Lake Pontchartrain, what you're going to get? Exactly the opposite. The air above water is colder and more dense. It's the opposite of when you've got lots of heat coming off of a really hot road, right? They're really not something that you can compare. And again, the fact is that you can see the curve of the transmission lines even before it gets far in the distance. You can see that there's a curve on those transmission lines. Stop looking at the bits that could be distorted right in the distance and look at the curvature that is there right in your face. All right, it's literally there staring at you.
It's not curvature, dude. It's just not. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm sorry, but I've literally just demonstrated how you're wrong. Now let's move on. Let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to the next one. Because I'm going to destroy every single one of them.
No, you're not.
I just destroyed that one.
No, you didn't. There's a fucking curve on the street, dude. I mean, it's the same.
Okay. If I can step in real quick. Hold on. If I can step in real quick, we're gonna have to come to an impasse on this particular topic because obviously, HipHopHippie is going to agree with Fight the Flat Earth, and Fight the Flat Earth is agreeing with reality. So, HipHopHippie, could you just present your next piece of evidence? I get that you're not satisfied with Fight the Flat Earth's reasoning on it, but we in order to have a productive conversation, we need to move forward. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. So another proof that the Earth is not a ball. The horizon rises with you. I just took a trip to Australia, looked out the window, and what do you know? There was the fucking horizon right out the window, and you know what? It was flat, wasn't curved. So I don't know. Maybe you guys just see something else, because I seriously have never seen a freaking curve in my life. It's crazy.
Did you actually use anything to check the level of the horizon? There's some very accurate apps you can get for smartphone that I can guarantee you've got in your pocket to actually show you. So did you just look at the horizon and no, wait, I'm asking the question. Did you just look at the horizon and go, yeah, looks flat to me? Or did you actually take any measures to attempt to measure it in any way? Did you take some images and compare it to like the center of the frame? Did you use an app that can show you where the horizon is supposed to be based on your altitude? Did you do anything other than just look at it and go, looks flat?
No, it was up there.
Right. Okay. Let's move on then. Let's move on then.
Window. Well, I could see it out the window. I should be looking down at the horizon, like looking down at it. But I was sitting straight up.
How much do you think it's? How much do you think it should fall? Like there's right. In fact, let me get you a video from Wolfie. One sec. That can explain this exactly for you. Wolfie 6020. Because he did a video like literally explaining that, and he went, where is it?
Yeah, I think I've seen it.
No horizon drop. I think it was something called two claims. In fact, he's got a whole bunch there showing how the horizon doesn't fly. That doesn't rise up to you. I'm just trying to find a particular one that was nice and quick.
Well, there's a lot of flat Earth videos that have the horizon rising with high levels or rising with the observer. So
right. So let's just say if you've got a bunch of videos and I've got a bunch of videos, let's just say we're at an impasse. Because if we're just going to go around and say you've got videos, well, I've got videos, that's a completely pointless conversation, right?
Well, that's what this conversation is. Like, I mean, you
right,
experience something else than I do.
Let's go to something else that we can actually, because you just saying, well, I've got videos of the horizon rising to eye level and I looked out the window on the plane and it looked flat, is pretty piss poor evidence, right? So let's move to the next one.
I have a video of, it's another Phuket word video of him on a plane showing that the horizon rises with the camera.
What was he using?
It's called Horizon Eye Level on my link that I sent you. I titled them.
The Horizon, which
eye
one?
It just says Horizon Eye Level. It's like the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one down. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sixth one down.
All right, Dave, you got that one? It's called Your Eye Level is Horizon on Flat Earth.
I think I might have missed that one because I was looking at YouTube links. Hold on, let me get it. Sorry about that.
Well, okay, like I just said, you've got a video of Phuket Word using his phone to look at a horizon, right? But that really doesn't show anything. The Wolfie video that I could have shown you actually has an app.
Like, well, you show your evidence and I'll show my evidence. I mean, what's the big deal? Why can't we both just show our evidence?
Because this isn't really something that can. If you're just going to go, I've got a video. Well, I've got a video. That's not really like.
But we're really doing this for posterity. We're not doing this for me and you. Like, we're doing this for viewers. Like, why don't you show your evidence and I'll show mine?
Are you talking about this one?
Go ahead.
No, I asked you. Are you talking about this video?
No, it's here. I'll get the title. Sorry, guys.
Right, hold on. I'll link it to you right in the bottom of the chat.
It's called Your Eye Level is Horizon on Flat Earth.
Right, I've just given you that one. All right, where's the Wolfie one?
Oh, your eye level is your personal horizon. Got that one. I think somewhere in here. Yes. Okay.
It's called Your Eye Level is Your Horizon on Flat Earth.
Yeah. I got that.
Word.
Okay, so where do you want me to start this?
Wherever.
Wherever. It's a.
Go ahead. Just start it up. It's not a long video. Keep playing it, bro. Oh, damn. Well, I hope people in the audience go and check out that video because it's getting to the good stuff. But
well, I can keep playing it. It just wasn't going anywhere fast. I saw a line above the horizon, which kind of would indicate it's not at eye level.
Yeah, he's gonna go up and down, and he'll show you how the horizon rises. Yeah, and it looked pretty flat, didn't it, guys?
Well, yeah, as I've explained, that's kind of what you're supposed to see.
Yeah, but see, if the curvature is only, if the horizon is only 3 miles away, and that's the curvature at sea level, when you rise, the horizon should actually be getting closer to you. It shouldn't be farther away.
What? I mean, do you realize how big the Earth is? Let's put this in perspective as what happened in there, right? That plane's probably about 40,000 feet, right?
Yeah.
So let's say the Earth is a basketball. That 40,000 feet is like 1,000th of a millimeter. You're not really any higher, to be able to see the horizon in change in the way that you seem to be expecting it to. There's not going to be such a massive drop like that. That's not what we would expect of our model. So again, you're trying to. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
That's the thing. You don't know what our model is. Wait, HipHopHippie, I'm talking. HipHopHippie, I'm talking, right? The model does not say that the horizon should just all of a sudden vanish away, because that plane is hardly anything above the Earth. For all intents and purposes, it's still on the bloody surface. But what you could see in that video was there was quite a few points where the horizon was below the center of the camera. So I mean, Fuck It World did a very nice job there of actually showing that some of the comports with our model. I mean, this is what gets me. You are trying to argue, but your argument is, well, this is what you should see, when that's not what we should see. It's not what anyone would expect to see on the globe model.
Think about it, man. You're seeing curvature at 3 miles at sea level. As you rise,
no, you're not seeing curvature.
The curvature should actually be. Yes, that is your curvature. The horizon is your curvature.
It's the point where it's the point where you start to see the effects of curvature, like things going over it. You can't see the curvature because it's behind the horizon.
We gotta let each other finish, okay?
Yeah, you're saying the horizon is the curvature, but it's not. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not. It's not curvature.
But it is, and I just demonstrated that. Again, your misunderstanding of the model isn't proof that the model isn't true.
I understand it pretty well. I look out and I see a flat horizon, so I think the Earth is flat. Because there's a flat horizon. I don't look out and see curvature. So.
Okay, right. So, right. As I've explained, the horizon being flat is what we're supposed to see. So your argument of it looks flat is bunk, because that's what we're supposed to see, right? Now, how about...
You agree with me. You agree with me, though. So how is it bunk if you agree with me? If you agree the horizon looks flat, then...
Because that's what you're supposed to see on the globe. So you are saying something that comports with reality. Yes, the horizon looks flat, because that's what we're supposed to see.
Think about it. Think about if you're standing on a globe, you're not going to see anything flat. It's going to be curving away from you at all times.
No.
It's going to be curvature
Oh my God!
everywhere.
Like,
Yes.
do you not listen to anything that I said? I will tell you once again what the horizon is, and then we're going to move away from this ridiculous misunderstanding that you have. The horizon is a cross section of the sphere that you are on. A cross section is a 2D shape.
How can it be?
Shh! Don't interrupt me, please. The horizon is a 2D shape, a circle. You are supposed to see a flat horizon because that is what we expect to see on our globe model. If you stood on the top of the globe and spanned 360 degrees, you would see a flat horizon. And that applies to any point on the globe. 360 degrees around you, flat, because we don't live on a tiny cylinder. So can we move away from the... No, can we move away from the it looks flat? Because that's ridiculous.
No, because that's the whole point of the flat Earth. If there's no curvature, then we're gonna.
But there is curvature.
And the opposite. There isn't though. You just said you see
Well,
flat.
why? Right. Okay, right. Let me present some evidence for you. 2 secs. Right, Dave. Where is it?
Are you looking for the globe calculator?
No. I sent you. Was it debunk 4? I think. Right. Yeah. Just watch this for a second. Right. So I made that earlier. Right, I made that earlier, okay? That was from one of the videos that you were going to show as evidence. I took a still from it, and then I took some actual images of the Rogers Center, okay? And then I superimposed them on top of each other. And what you see is that the whole bottoms of these buildings is missing, but there's no other distortions around the shapes of the buildings. So my question to you is, where is the bottoms of all those buildings?
It's the angle of incidence. I just showed you.
That's not a thing.
Yes, it is.
No, like, you, for no reason, would just miss the bottom parts of buildings. For no reason.
Doesn't matter. The Rogers Center
Right.
that's in that video should be behind curvature. It shouldn't be able to be seen. So it's not a debunk. It's actually proof that the Earth is flat.
No, because obviously you don't understand how, like, refractive indexes and everything works. Now, my question for you, if you're saying, oh, we can see it now, therefore, the Earth's flat, why can't you see it all of the time?
I don't know. How do you know that you can't see it all the time?
Because otherwise it wouldn't be one of these matters of contention. The fact that you can see it sometimes, there's it was one of the videos that Flat Earther put out, the fact that you could see the Rogers Center sometimes when you're looking over there, but you can't see it other times. Now that would indicate that there is that would indicate that there is something else going on there than it just being a flat thing. That would indicate that there is other things that you have to take into account as to why you can sometimes see it and sometimes you can't. But more importantly, like I said, when you could see it there, the bottoms of the buildings were missing. And do you know why they were missing? Because they were behind the curve.
Or the angle of incidence, which I just showed you.
Angle of incidence isn't a thing.
Yes, it is. And
no, perspective.
Also,
you can't just make things up.
The reason why we can see those buildings is because it's a nice, beautiful, clear day, and we can see further, and that's why we see them. It's flat.
Okay, so
because they're actually there.
So again, if it's flat, why can't you see them all the time? Right, let me just get you one particular picture that ruins this whole angle of incidence thing. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay, hold on. Well, Craig, hold on. So while Craig's looking that up, for one thing in the chat, there were some complaints earlier about using homophobic slurs in the chat, and I just want to say that that is not allowed on this particular channel, using those types of slurs and slurs, I guess, in general. Don't do that. But also to our debate people, perhaps more so on Craig's side here, Fight the Flat Earth side, try to let the other person finish. I know that sometimes people can go on for a long time, but try to let them finish or whatnot before interrupting or stepping in with your side of it.
All right, give me 2 secs and I'll get the pic. There we go. Right, print screen. Okay, all right. 2 secs, David. I'm going to send you a picture.
Okay.
Where is it? Sorry, 1 sec. All right, I just sent you a picture on Discord, David. If you could just put that up for me, please. All right, explain this picture with angle of incidence. Sorry, when Dave gets it.
No worries. Hope everybody's having a good night, though.
Yeah, I'm having a great night. Killing Flat Earth every day is quite fun.
I'm having a pretty good night, too.
Good.
At least you're not as much of a douche as RTH. He is not a good proponent for your side.
Yeah, I'd like to say something to him. RTH, man, just relax, dude. Don't be so serious all the time. Nothing's, everything's all good. It's all about love, man. It's all about love.
Right. You got that picture, David?
This thing is killing me. It's almost harder to get a picture than it is a web address. Just saying.
Oh.
It's like I have to save it and I have to put it in a specific place, otherwise I'll freaking lose it, and then I have to go look it up with vMix again. Okay, so here you go.
Okay, all right, go on. Explain that with angle of incidence for me, would you?
The angle that you're looking at something, it's going to cut off the bottom of whatever you're viewing. It all has to do with perspective. And there's been many videos that have shown this. Nathan Oakley even did a video on it where he put a book in the hallway, and then.
You mean the book that was in a different room? The book was in a different room, buddy. I've debunked that one already. The book was literally in a different room with like a dip before it. So Nathan Oakley was being extremely dishonest with that. Seriously.
I didn't know how to do it. Well, what about Jose Gonzalez? He actually did an observation as well, and that proves that the angle of incidence is real.
In fact, and all of Jose Gonzalez's footage actually proves the globe, which is why he is now a globe earther.
He just was tired of being called a retard every freaking second of his life.
The thing is with Jose, right? When he was a flat earther, right, he was putting up footage which could kind of be questioned, not sure, but the footage he didn't show, which he now has done, was things that would basically kill the flat earth. He didn't want to put those up because he didn't want to believe that, he didn't want to lose his belief in the flat earth. But the funny thing is that Jeranism gave Jose a P900, which he then used to prove the earth being a globe and become a globe earther. And I just think that's brilliant. So again, right, what we're seeing here, right, is quite clearly just 3/4 of that boat missing. There's no distortions. There's no anything. Now that is just exact evidence that the horizon is the point where things start to curve away from you. And the fact that you can see 2 ships there both with no refraction, no stuff mucking it up at the horizon or anything, is undebunkable evidence of the fact that the Earth has a curve to it, or at least that water is curved in that area, which would then make sense to say that the rest of it is as well.
I think it pretty much confirms that we really don't know what we see. We do. We know exactly what we see. We can explain that and model it exactly on a globe. There's no distortion there. There's no refraction. There's nothing causing any mirroring or bits disappearing because of atmosphere. And that is just a very clear shot of one boat on the horizon and then one boat behind the horizon. And you can deny it, or wait. You can deny it all you want, but the evidence is sitting there right in front of your face. You can't keep denying reality when I can so clearly point it out to you. Well, to you it's curvature, but to us it's perspective and a few other things like refraction.
If I could interject real quick and try to get somewhere with this. HipHopHippie, I'm wondering, can you exactly explain like how perspective is hiding this? Because on the globe model, we have a way of, explaining why things disappear over the curve. So I mean, no, see that doesn't actually explain your position on this, because then what you're saying basically is that it instantaneously disappears, meaning that apparently the ship is farther away, because that's how perspective works. That's why things get smaller and they disappear, is that things get farther away and we just simply can't see them with our human eyes, or in this case, a camera zoomed in pretty far. That's how perspective would work.
I agree. That's how perspective works. But you also have the atmosphere that affects what we see as well. I mean, it's not just perspective. There's numerous things that are happening. It all depends on temperature, humidity,
and that's why I
cause it to be blurred. It can distort what we're seeing.
Okay,
so.
HipHopHippie, and that's why I purposely showed you that picture, which is funny enough from Sleeping Warrior. But that picture I showed you, if you're able to put up again, Dave, right? There's no atmospheric distortion. There's no mirroring. There's no blurring. All right. It's very, very clear and defined exactly what is there and what's not. So no, there is no other things there, because that picture is taken at a time when the atmospheric conditions are, pretty much zero with refraction. You can see at the bottom of the boat, there's no mirroring, there's no blurring, there's no inverting, there's nothing. All there is one boat on the horizon, and then one boat that's either sinking or is behind the water. Because if that was refraction, wait, if that was refraction, the bits that you can see, the bottom of the with it looks like H's, right? They would be distorted. What's the bridge on the left? If you compare that to the one at the front, you can see that that's the bridge on the left, and the shape is exactly the same. There's no distortion in the shape. There's no inverting. There's no mirroring. That it is just exactly as it should be. The only difference is that there's a very clear defined line where it's behind, and that cannot be. You can't go, well, it could be atmospheric, it could be this, it could be that, because there's none of that there to blame it on. Did you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and it's cool. I mean, you think it's a curve. It's all good.
No,
right,
that's a really frustrating response.
Flat earthers know what's up. It's all good. So
see, that's a really frustrating response. Wait. It's a really frustrating response, because you're not actually giving me a reason for what I'm seeing. I've just told you, and I think we can both agree that there's no atmospheric refraction happening there, right? Do you agree with that?
How do we know? We're not. I mean, well,
because,
I can agree with it. If maybe they zoom in on that ship a little more, then yeah, maybe we can probably see what's going on. I mean,
that was actually max zoom on Sleeping Warriors P900. That's the maximum zoom on Sleeping Warriors P900. And there, look very closely. That Dave's zooming in for you there. There is no mirroring. There is no atmospheric refraction. You can't say is that. That's not a real thing. Stop saying it. That's not a real thing. Stop saying it.
It is a real thing. It is a real thing.
And it's a real thing that could make that ship disappear exactly like that. No, I'm sorry, but that's just a complete ad hoc explanation that doesn't really mean anything. Things that if you're looking at something that if you're looking at something that's completely flat like that, then you're not going to have that angle of incidence that Nathan Oakley made up, and it isn't a real thing. There is no mirroring there. There is no refraction. You can agree because we can both look at it and zoom in on it. There is no distortion on the boat. That is just, you can't get around that by saying angle of incidence, because that's not a real thing. And there is no atmospheric refraction going on. It's clear evidence that there's a curve.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, for you, yeah, that's cool. Okay.
Reality.
Well, yeah, that's cool. I mean, you can believe it. It's no big deal, man.
No.
You can think that's curvature. It's fine.
Wonderful. So far your arguments are nuh-uh and it looks flat. You're doing really well.
Well, we can also show that the Earth is a plane, because the horizon does rise with the observer, and we can also prove that with the Felix Baumgartner jump. I actually put a link in the video or in the description for that I sent to you at least.
So let me ask you about the Let me ask you about the Felix Baumgartner jump. I mean, we can just, rather than playing the Felix Baumgartner jump, which everybody's seen at this point, we can just explain that there's no cameras on there that were set up to try and look at the horizon. There's no, there's all fisheye and, the things moving backward and forward. Just looking at something that wasn't set up to do what you're trying to say isn't really evidence of anything. And if you want to talk about the Felix Baumgartner jump, I've done the maths on the speed that he was falling, because this is part of what I'm doing for Sleeping Warrior Week. I've done the maths on, because he had stuff on him to record what was going on. And I've done the maths based on the acceleration and based on what the atmospheric density should be, and based on what terminal velocity based on the altitude and atmospheric density should be. And the funny thing is that when you do the maths, you find out that there is a force equal to 9.81 newtons. And why do you think there would be a force of 9.81 newtons?
Well, I think I was trying to talk about the horizon, because the horizon is actually seen at 120,000 feet out of the Felix Baumgartner gondola. So that shouldn't,
again, 120,000 feet isn't really, that high in all fairness compared to the Earth. And seriously, what you're doing, you're bringing up things that have been debunked 1,000 times and are frankly boring to talk about.
Well,
honestly, how can you still go with the Felix Baumgartner jump when that nonsense has been debunked so many times? Heath's done it. Professor Stick, Heath's done it. Professor Stick's done it. Red Rhetoric has done it. There's actually a few more. The Voice of Reason's done it. They've all done videos debunking that already. It's been done. Do we have to talk about things that have already been done?
How can you debunk it when you can see it with your own eyes? I mean, the horizon is cutting off the gondola window in the middle at 120,000 feet. That's 4 times higher than a plane flies. So that horizon should be way below what we're seeing. Again, in that shot.
You're misunderstanding.
The gondola is not moving. It's you can tell he's sitting
there. Your misunderstanding of the model isn't proof that it isn't right. Well, you understand that, right? Just because you don't no, I understand physics and how things should be on the flat Earth. You don't understand physics because I know you don't understand physics because if I asked you right now what's Newton's gravitational law of attraction, you wouldn't be able to tell me. If I asked you how to calculate forces acting on you, would you be able to tell me? If I asked you how to calculate velocity and acceleration, would you be able to tell me? Because you can't say you know physics if you can't do these things.
Well, if you want to talk about physics, let's talk about the physics of water and how water is level. We use it in leveling tools to make sure things are flat.
Let me ask. Oh, well, no. Let me ask you this: do you think level and flat mean the same thing?
they have many meanings, but level does mean flat.
No, level does not mean flat. You put. I'm just literally going to quote rhetoric here. You put a shelf on a wall that's crooked. Is that shelf flat? Yes. Is that shelf level? No. Level and flat do not mean the same thing. Stop using these words interchangeably.
I have the definition of level right here. It says a horizontal plane or line with respect to the distance above or below a given point. The position of a real imaginary scale of amount, quantity, extent, or quality, having a flat and even surface without slopes or bumps. Flat,
Yeah,
smooth,
nowhere there
even,
said.
regular, true.
Right. Answer my question. Like I said to you, if you put a shelf on a wall and it's crooked, is that shelf flat?
Yeah.
Is the shelf level?
The shelf is still flat.
Is the shelf level?
No, but that doesn't matter.
So therefore, wait. You've just admitted to me they don't mean the same thing.
All right, well then, what do you use a level to like build a floor to make sure it's
yes,
flat?
I've used levels many times. I'm an engineer.
Well,
I was an engineer. It's what I did.
Level can prove flatness as well.
No,
it's not,
because right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, it can.
Okay. How does a builder's level work?
The water, it's got like a little bubble inside the water. And then when it's flat or horizontal, it levels out.
Why?
Simple shit. Huh?
Why?
Because
why does it level out?
Because it's flat. Because it's flat.
Okay, yeah. Why?
Well, hold on. If I can, what Fight the Flat Earth is asking is, what causes the bubble to move to the center? Like, there's got to be something that causes the bubble to move to the center of it, not just because it's positioned any certain way. There's another force that has to act on it.
Well, just because you say there has to be another force doesn't mean there's a force. I mean, it's just leveling out. Like, I just read the definition. Having a flat surface without flips or bumps.
Can we start off?
And even surface too. I mean, what you guys are trying to change the definition of words now? I mean, what's going on?
No, because I
clarified. Can we start from a basis real quick? Can we set a basis for something? All right, HipHopHippie. Do you if we set a ball down on a table, will it go anywhere? Like just sitting there? Like if it's at rest, does it stay at rest?
Yeah, I don't see why not if it's on a flat surface.
Okay, regardless of surface that it's on, something that is at rest, it will stay at rest. So it takes a force acting upon it in order for it to move. Can we agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, what force is causing the bubble to move to the center?
I don't know. You lifting up whatever cabinet or whatever the fuck you're touching to level it.
Oh my goodness.
No. I mean, you're positioning the level in a certain way, but there's some other kind of force that is making that bubble orient itself. Like, what is that doing? So, okay, well, what we're getting at here is that level just means that it's perpendicular to the forces that are acting upon it, this one being gravity, and it operates on the principles of buoyancy, which has gravity integral to the equations that describe it. So
okay, well,
again, I ask, can you identify?
Well, can you identify that level also means having a flat and even surface without slopes or bumps? Can you also
that is the equivocation fallacy? You are trying to use a different definition in order to confuse the conversation. It takes
HipHopHippie.
That's the actual definition.
HipHopHippie, answer me the question. What happens if you put a level on a flat wall?
I don't know. I haven't done it. I don't have a level around me. I don't know.
And is that flat wall level? Or is it flat?
It's just flat.
You see what I'm trying to say? You can't use these words interchangeably in the way you're trying to. Yes, in some circumstances, flat can come in the kind of umbrella definition of level. But when you're actually talking about things in general, level and flat aren't the same thing. A flat, crooked shelf is not level. No, please don't interrupt me when I'm talking. A flat, crooked shelf is not level. They're not the same thing. So again, you're just trying to have an argument about semantics, which is completely pointless. Let's get down to some very, very basics here, okay?
So wait.
Now,
I'm talking. Yeah, we are talking about basics.
I'm going to ask you a question. I am going to ask you a question, okay? Why do things accelerate towards the Earth?
Well, you say they accelerate.
Well, I don't say they accelerate. They do. It's it's a fact that things have an acceleration of 9.8 meters per second squared.
HipHopHippie, can you explain acceleration for us? Like, what is acceleration?
I didn't realize I had to go that basic.
Well, acceleration is increase in a rate of speed of something. It's a rate of change of velocity per unit of time.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Change the distance over time. So you can agree that things on Earth, when they are not supported, they accelerate towards the Earth. You agree with that?
Well, they fall to the Earth, I guess. Yeah, I guess they can accelerate, I guess.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Let's just say you're holding your smartphone and it's moving at 0 miles an hour, and you let go of it. By the time it gets to the floor, it's moving 15 miles an hour. It's accelerated. Can you agree with that?
Yeah, I guess. Perhaps,
so, no, not perhaps. That's a fact. You going from 0 to 15 is an acceleration. So things don't just fall. They don't fall at a constant rate. They have an acceleration. And this is a measurable acceleration of 9.81 meters per second squared. Wait. Let me get to my question. Right? So we know that things accelerate. And we know that that can be measured as 9.81 meters per second squared. So acceleration requires a force. Please tell me where this force for things accelerating comes from.
Things are at rest, okay? And then you pick them up, okay? You give them the ability to drop them, okay? You drop it, and then that creates the acceleration. They're at rest before you even pick them up. So, picking the object up or lifting it up or whatever you're lifting up, then dropping it, that's how it accelerates.
No, because that's completely missing the point. Things accelerate. Wait. Let me get there. No, that's completely wrong. And we'll explain why in 2 seconds. I still can't believe people are going with the relative density thing. Okay. Now let me ask my question, please. No. I'm going to ask my question. I'm going to ask my question.
Hold on. Guys, we've got about 10 minutes left. Okay, we've got 10 minutes left before we got to go. So just letting you guys know, we still have to read super chats and everything like that. So just keep that in mind. Okay.
Okay.
What does this have to do with the shape of the Earth? What does this have to do with the shape
everything,
of the Earth?
everything, absolutely everything. Right now, let me get gravity. Right. Basically, gravity is a thing because there's an accelerating force that cannot be denied. Density isn't a force. Acceleration requires a force. Density isn't a force. It cannot be relative density that makes things accelerate. Okay, that is just a fact of nature. Unless you want to argue with the very basis of F equals ma, which we can't because we know that that is true. So gravity, we know, is a thing. And thanks to experiments like the Cavendish experiment, we know that gravity isn't just something that pulls down. We know that it's something that pulls towards center of masses. This has recently been demonstrated very well by BM Verbal Pancake Hero on YouTube, who done his own Cavendish experiment with proof of concept. So we know that things accelerate towards the center of mass. This basic fact means that the hydrostatic state of equilibrium of everything in the universe is a sphere, because that is the natural state for things to be, with the less forces involved to make it be like that. So gravity is a thing because there's an acceleration. If gravity is a thing, flat Earth can't be a thing. End of discussion.
So the Earth is a sphere because of gravity?
Very much so, yes.
Okay. Well,
100%.
anyways, I mean, we're supposed to be talking about like curvature because if we don't see curvature, then there is no curvature. So.
I've shown you plenty of evidence of curvature. So next, I mean, relative density isn't a thing because you need a vector. Right, let me just destroy relative density for you really quickly. So you say relative density is because things are more dense than the medium they are in, so they fall down, right? Because they're going for a less dense medium. Yeah,
well, it depends on the medium they're in. Yeah.
Okay,
if
so
they're less dense than
we know that there
right.
is there's a pressure gradient in our atmosphere. That means that the atmosphere gets less dense as it goes up. So if things were going down or moving because of relative density, they would go up and not down. Because the atmosphere is less dense. Wait, the atmosphere is less dense above the item than below it. So the item would not go down towards the more dense medium. It would go up towards the less dense medium if relative density was what made things move. I think we should just let carry on with super chats now because I've just destroyed every argument you brought up.
No, you haven't. And when you say atmosphere, like
I really have.
you're assuming it's a sphere. Like
no,
I'm saying sphere.
No, because that's what we call it. Whether you want to call it flat or not, I'm not saying a stupid word like atmosphere. Right? Atmosphere is the word that we'll use to describe the air that we breathe. And the atmosphere, there's an atmospheric pressure. Pressure gradient requires a force. We know there's a force. The force is gravity. If gravity is real, then everything has to be a sphere. Therefore, the Earth can't be flat.
Has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. We're talking about the shape of the Earth, and you're talking about some force, like some imaginary force. We're talking about the shape of the Earth.
Yeah, and gravity is what determines the shape of our planet. So just because you don't understand that doesn't make it not true. And I'm pretty sure Goddess Engineer needs to get to super chats.
Curved, then there is no gravity. If the Earth isn't curved, then there is no gravity. We're talking about the shape of the Earth before we talk about gravity.
I showed you curve.
No,
I showed you curve.
Me curve. You showed me obstruction. You haven't shown me curve.
I showed you curve.
So, if I can interject here, because we do need to get the super chats. What Flight to Flat Earth showed was the effects of the curvature being that it hides from bottom to top, and the perspective argument on your end doesn't really satisfy any kind of like.
Well, it doesn't satisfy you. It doesn't satisfy you, but it satisfies flat earthers. I mean,
that's because flat earthers.
Well, that's the crux of the flat Earth community, though, is that you're convinced by bad arguments.
Names? Like, why do you got to call us names, dude? Like, it's just
childish. Because the point is that I can spend all day explaining stuff to you and being as nice as possible, but you are too intellectually dishonest to even try and understand what you're being told. And frankly, it's frustrating, and that makes you a moron.
No, you're trying to tell me I see curvature when in my experience, I don't see a fucking curve anywhere. So don't tell me what I see, okay? So
well, I will tell you what you see because you see the Earth as a sphere like everybody else. Just because you're too dense to understand it isn't my problem.
I'm not dense, dude. You're the dense one, man. You can't even think outside the sphere, dude. All you do is
Don't make me step in again, please.
Sorry.
Okay. So we need to get the super chats. HipHopHippie, do you have any last things to say?
Actually, no, I guess I'm okay. I don't know. I love everybody. Hope everybody has a nice, beautiful life. And
hey, HipHopHippie, whereabouts in America are you, by the way? Because if you want, you can take part in an experiment I'm doing to measure the circumference of the planet.
I'm in Colorado, and I'm also a scientific glass blower. If anybody wants to know what I do for a living, I'm not.
What latitude are you on?
Huh?
Do you know what latitude you're on?
No.
Right. I'm doing an experiment. Right. Let me just tell you what I'm doing. I'm doing an experiment with George Musser, the contributor to Scientific America, where we're kind of repeating Aristophanes' observations of measuring the shadows from sticks and from the sun at local noon. Currently, I've got a whole bunch of people all over the American continent that are being involved and doing the measurements on the same day. If you can be involved in part of those measurements, would you be willing to add your data to the rest of the data that we have and see what results that we get?
I'd rather hang out with the girlfriend, honestly. But
so when I give you an opportunity to be involved in an experiment that can actually determine the shape of the Earth, you don't want to be. Thank you. That's just let me know everything that I need to know about your wanting the truth.
What you should do is make a video of you shooting lasers off moon reflectors, because that's what you said you did. So it should be easy for you to do.
Well, everyone can do that. I mean, like
okay.
I'm not a uni anymore, so I don't really have a massive laser with me to do those things. But that experiment is actually done all of the time. So that was a complete non sequitur. Again, I extend to you the offer to be involved in an experiment that will actually physically determine the shape of the Earth. The offer is there. If you have any interest in the truth, then please get involved. If not, stop saying the Earth is flat, because you clearly don't care.
I have no burden, dude. I already know it's flat. You're the one who keeps you
so when there's an opportunity to actually prove the shape of the Earth, you don't want to be involved. Is that what you're saying?
We've already proved the shape of the Earth, dude. So
when I do this experiment, right, and me and hundreds of other people measure the circumference of the planet and just so happen to get the same as the current accepted values, what does that mean?
I'd like to see it first. So,
and why would you be involved? Why wouldn't you be involved? I'm giving you the opportunity to be involved in an experiment to actually measure the planet. Why wouldn't you be involved?
I know it's not a globe. I know it's not.
So you don't care about learning. It's cool. It's cool. You don't care. No worries.
Well, you can teach me when you make that video.
Well, you could be involved. You could be part of it. And you know what? If the measurements come out to be flat, then hey, you've just helped prove a flat Earth. But the fact is, you're too scared to actually be involved in something like that. Because if you're not, yeah, you are. Because if you're not involved, you can always go, well, it could be faked. But if you actually get involved and do it yourself, there's no way that you can say it was faked. But you're too chicken to actually do it.
I ain't chicken. You're chicken.
Okay, then do it. Then do it. Then do it. I'm measuring. I am putting my reputation on the line. I'm measuring the planet.
Okay, guys. Right. Okay, let's get to super chats now. Okay, the whole no you kind of thing. Let's go ahead and get to the super chats.
All right,
Dave.
Sure.
Thank you.
Tiglokin 16. 33. Tiglokin 16 again. Flat Earth Aussie Jesus keeps snorting colloidal silver. Tiglokin 16 again. HipHopHippie typical Hmong flat earther. Mark Beiser. The very existence of crisp horizon is extremely strong evidence against the Earth being effing flat. Bombay. Phuket is pronounced Phuket. Believe it or not, there is a world outside of the U.S. that has different languages. Okay. Wriggles World, sorry. I know brain now. Much stupid. Okay, sure. Demonic Davros. GE, it's like aliens. Like, you know, the Earth fat because aliens like that. Okay. Milwaukee Atheist. Fight the Flat Earth just took Triple H's sledgehammer and caved in his skull. Also, Fight the Flat Earth, what happened to your accent? This is for the wrestling fans. Jen Morgan.
I wasn't drinking today.
That explains it. Okay. Jen Morgan says, Triple H, I'm sorry you have this mental illness. Get help. Who's your atheist? I just wanted to say that Sleeveless GE wins sexiest non-sec host. Sorry, Kyle, you know I still love you too. Oflamio says, Jen Morgan, mental illness is a logical fallacy. God's Auditor says, Flurfers, buy a weather balloon and a camera for fuck's sake. HipHopHippie is demonstrating caveman mentality. Horizon looks flat, so Earth is flat. No investigation required. Now back to my cave. Unapologetically Atheist says, if the horizon always rises to eye level, then wouldn't that mean the Earth is a bowl with an arbitrarily growing edge? Brian Shannon says, watch. Brian Shannon says, watch D Marble roll right off the crooked shelf. Christ Puncher says, I'd just like to hear my name.
So do I. It's awesome name.
EVK says, correct me if I'm wrong, but water in 0G forms a sphere or attempts to. Hashtag caveman mentality.
Yeah, because he's been in 0G before.
Okay, whatever. Things in free fall form balls. We've seen it. You can go look a vomit comment and look at it. Okay, Design Sonic 1. If density caused down, you'd never be able to put 100 pounds of feathers on a scale. Great Circle. No text. Thank you for the super chat, Great Circle. Princess April Van Ryan. Chicken! Robert Rotstad. When you drop something, why does it fall towards the earth, not left, right, or up? The Athens 619 says, I don't see my organs, therefore, hashtag organs are fake.
Before we do go, I am kind of curious what HipHopHippie has to say about things not falling left or right or up. Why do you think that doesn't happen?
I don't know. It just falls down, man. All I know.
It just falls down. Look, HipHopHippie, if you really want to investigate this, I'm willing to answer your questions, but you need to actually have the want to find out answers.
I used to believe in the glove, man. It's all good. You guys can believe what you want.
Yeah, and when I'm done with you, you will again.
All right.
Oh, okay.
All right. I appreciate everybody stopping by tonight for this Flatterday Night fight. I know FTFE has a video that will be premiering here in about 10 minutes that I actually helped him out with. So if you want to go over to FTFE's channel, be sure to watch that premiere. And thank you, debaters, for being here tonight, having this great discussion. And I guess we'll see you heathens. I don't know if they're doing anything tomorrow on this channel.
Actually,
if anything, it'll be Monday.
That reminds me. Tomorrow, Kyle Curtis will be on Talk Heathens. So if you are interested in watching Kyle Curtis tomorrow, he will be co-hosting, special show. So tune in to Talk Heathen tomorrow.
Cool. Definitely go check out that. And I guess we'll see you guys on the next stream. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens.
Later, guys.
See you later.